The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. That was referenced in the 90s film The Usual Suspects. But it's very true today. Now, I'm not talking about the horns and the pitchfork, but it's the unseen influences that go on around us without our realising it. Most people on this path don't think they're doing bad, they actually think they're pretty good or pretty good people. So in this video, I'm going to look at how people can get steered down that wrong path thinking they're actually doing good. And this is how you can step off that path if you've inadvertently found yourself going along it and it's not the yellow brick road. Whereas I've referenced the term the devil, in this video we're not necessarily going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at what the hidden measures are behind the way in which we make our choices and the way in which we can be steered wrong. So in this context, I'm looking at the unseen forces that are around us all the time and how we can become aware of them and what they're going to do to give us those little devil horns. It's the invisible systems that are around us, the algorithms, the manipulation, the choices that are thrust upon us. But it's also from within, those inner voices that we have, those inner voices that, want to tell us to do a thing in a certain way. The algorithms, the groupthink, the propaganda that follows us everywhere we go at the moment. The inner voices we have that are in there, that are telling us one thing all the time because of all the external pressures that are placed upon us. The dangers isn't always openly obvious to us, it's those hidden factors that are around us. You can't always find the villains of the piece just because they might be wearing a stripy jumper and a bag of swag over their shoulder. A lot of the time it's a lot more nuanced than that and a lot more hidden. And as I said, a lot of the time it comes from in there, those little voices that are going on. So the most, I suppose, surprising aspect, all the years that I've interviewed different people, the ones that I didn't worry about too much were the ones who owned what they'd done. They might have done something really heinous, but they had no remorse. But you could understand them. They were like owning it. That was theirs. But it was the people there who had done certain things, thinking that they were the hero rather than the villain of the piece, justifying their actions. That is what can be that hidden voice inside your head, which is driving you down the dark path, as it says in this series. Hi everybody, apologies for this break in transmission. I have noticed that on the channel lately there's only about 11% of you subscribe, those who are reviewing. So if you do find any value in this content, please like, subscribe and share. It'll help me grow this channel. Back to our normal broadcasting. Thank you very much. So while I've been doing these videos, I've been pondering lots of things, and one of them is, how do people eventually find themselves going down that dark path? How are they being manipulated? How are they doing the wrong things but justifying in their head that they're doing the right things? Well, it's a very complex subject, isn't it? But I've managed to break it down into 4 steps, which I think are useful for you to know, just to ensure that you don't follow them processes. So the first and most important step that's used in this process is a hook. It's a hook of good value, a hook of you believing that whatever you do is righteous. The hooks of justice, the hooks of safety, the hooks of protecting other people, the hooks of doing the right thing. Once they've got you on that hook, they can then reel you in, get you in a little bit further, so that where you started out on a really good motivation, you can be corrupted and diverted in a slightly different way. And remember, that hook is rarely evil. It's there because it's a base value, a base moral on you, and it's about luring you in. Step 2 is really clever. What they do is they place a narrative in front of you, a story in front of you for you to follow. You're the good guys in this story and they're the bad guys. If you disagree with this mindset, then you're the problem. I'm not the problem and it's all on you. So then when this story is established and it's got their hooks in, they then turn around and they punish disobedience and they reward obedience. You get likes, you get praise, you get applause when you follow the narrative. You get shame, you get isolation, you get labels when you question the narrative. Soon you find yourself chasing approval instead of chasing the truth. So this was evident in the 1950s. A man called Solomon Asch done an experiment around conformity. And basically what that meant was he would get a load of actors in a room and he would get someone else, an unsuspecting member of the public, a normal person. And then he would pose a question to this whole group, a really simple question. You know, what is the length of this line? What colour is this? Something really simple. He would instruct all the actors to lie all the way through. And the person, the unsuspecting person there, would know the truth. But after time, after every actor has stood up and said black was white or something along those lines, then the normal person ended up following the party line. So what this experiment showed was that social pressure is a real thing. People conformed even though they knew something was wrong just because everybody else was conforming. Thus, social pressure can override one's own self-instinct and one's own desire to do things and follow, as I say, the crowd. The third important step is making that influence invisible. You don't know where it's coming from. Algorithms pop up and show you more and more content which is going to keep you angry, going to keep you afraid, going to guide you in a way in which you don't really want to be guided. This can result in your own mind editing your own memories, editing your own perspectives into the way in which you think you should be thinking instead of what you should actually be thinking. And after all this influence, this manipulation, you can feel like you've made a choice. You can feel that you've been empowered, but all you've really done is empower others to allow them to influence you in the way you are thinking. Your choices, a lot of the time, are not your own. They are directed. Good examples of this can be things such as groupthink, you know, team spirit. We're all team A when we hate team B. We fully agree with this mission statement or manifesto without question. Because if we question it, we're going to get in trouble and we're not going to be accepted by our peers. It's all about you, they say. It's not about us. But then it can go into its extremes, can't it? It can become coercive behaviour. It can become manipulation. It can become something a little bit darker. And the fourth and probably final stage is the illusion of choice. I've chosen this because I know it's true because I've got all this information that's been given to me. But it's been given to you. All you need to know, one of the red flags, all you need to know is this. And with those culmination of choices, those culmination of influences that come in and make you believe you are choosing the right thing, the devil can grab hold, the sinister can grab hold, the manipulator can grab hold. Those inner voices which quiet everything else, those inner voices where you may have the gut feeling but you're ignoring it. As I've alluded to earlier, I've seen lots of people do lots of horrible things over the years. And a lot of them will turn around and justify, saying I've done it because it's for their own good. They have convinced themselves they're doing the right thing. So if you'll find yourself that you're already in this fourth step, you know, there are ways in which you can question to see whether the choices you have made are actually your own choices or whether they've been implanted upon you. Ask yourself, did I come to this choice slowly or did I come to it very quickly, which is born out of fear, out of anger, out of anxiety, out of worry? Ask yourself, can I argue against my own viewpoint or my sense of honesty? If you physically can't stand hearing the counter argument, then that's not confidence, that is control. And the third and probably most important question that you can ask yourself is, can I change my mind without losing my social network, without you losing my friends, or without losing those around me? If the answer to that is no, again, it's not a choice, it's control. The devil doesn't need you to worship him. All he wants is for you to forget or not notice that he's there. So the good news is really that you can step off this dark path or stop yourself going there in the first place. It's not all lost. If you've been watching this video up to this point, or if you've been watching other videos as well, you're already on that path. You're already searching for a way. You're already aware that something's amiss out there, and you want to make sure that you can make a change. So here are 3 simple steps that can help you keep guided. Now these are the first steps, and it's down to you to move on from them, but they're a good starting point. First one, name the voice. Where is these voices coming from? Where are these choices coming from? Are they internal? Is it my fear? Is it my ego? Is it the algorithm? Is it my friends? Once you know where this voice is coming from and you name this voice, you take away the power of that voice so that you can bring the power back to yourself. So the second step in this, again as important as the others, is reconnecting. Reconnecting to your first principles. What are your core beliefs? What are your core morals? What are your core motivations? Are these choices or these voices aligning with those? If they're not, a little bit of a red flag. And the third step, I would say, is a bit of real world testing. Take yourself away from yourself almost. Look at the scenario, look at what's going on and think, if someone else was watching me now, if someone else were viewing my actions, what would they think? Would they think I'm acting with integrity? Would they think I was doing the right thing? Or would they think that I'm trying to control others, or I'm doing the wrong things, or I'm just being self-serving? And just by following them 3 simple steps, you can take control. You can drag the devil into light, should I say. You can cast light on those who are trying to manipulate you. You can say, I can see you, you're not in control, and you're not driving my actions. That's down to me to drive. So this was my last video in the Dark Path series. As you know, on this channel, Blue Balance UK, I try and give a balanced perspective, and I'll be going on now onto a new journey, how we can bring ourselves back to the light, which will come in future videos. Remember, the Dark Path series wasn't about trying to scare. It wasn't trying about fear-mongering. It was there just so you're aware. You're aware of what's going on, and then you can take positive steps to make some changes, or to not allow people to manipulate, lie to, or coerce you. So think to yourself, write it down maybe, place it in the comments if you wish. Any actions or decisions you think that weren't really your own, things that were forced upon you, or where you were manipulated to do them. What it does, that brings it to the light for yourself so you don't fall for that trick again. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. It is appreciated. Time you've given me, the most important thing that we have, is appreciated. So please like, subscribe, comment, share. Join me on my Facebook group, Blue Balance UK community. Join me on here. And again, thank you very much for your time. God bless everyone, and I'll see you soon on the new series. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.